How do you become truly unstoppable? How do you build a career, relationships, and a life that not only succeeds, but feels deeply fulfilling? One that matches your biggest dreams? The secret lies within one powerful tool you always carry with you: your mind. It all starts with locking in the right mindset. But maybe right now, success feels just out of reach. Your life isn't where you want it to be yet. You know you're capable of more, but the path forward seems unclear. So what exactly does it take to develop this unstoppable mindset? How do you rise up and claim the place you deserve to be? In this video, I'm going to share with you 20 proven techniques, simple yet powerful steps that will help you shift your thinking and launch yourself into a frame of mind built for success. Your mind is the engine that will drive you forward, and together we'll walk through a clear, step-by-step process to strengthen it one step at a time. Let's dive into the first technique, called immersion in the moment. Right now, take a quick pause. Where is your mind? Is it scattered, distracted by past regrets or future worries? The truth is, this very moment you're living is your life, not the failures you faced yesterday, and not the anxieties waiting for you tomorrow, but this exact slice of time, right here, right now. Our goal is to focus fully on this moment, to stop drifting and start living with complete presence. Marcus Aurelius, the ancient Stoic philosopher, captured this beautifully when he said that even the smallest acts contain the whole of nature. Try this now. Pick up the nearest cup or object. Feel its weight in your hand. Notice the temperature on your skin. Observe every tiny detail. It may sound simple, but this is powerful mental training. When you learn to fully immerse yourself in even the most ordinary things, you're building the mental pathways to focus deeply on anything. Look around at the people who are dominating their fields, the top athletes, entrepreneurs, artists. What do they have in common? They don't give their attention away lightly. They don't lose hours mindlessly scrolling through their phones or drifting through tasks. They are fiercely present, ruthlessly focused on the now. Remember, the past is dead and the future isn't here yet. Your real power, your true opportunity, lives in this moment, so exercise it. Our second technique is called the spheres of control. This one helps you regain your power by teaching you to focus only on what you can truly control and let go of the rest. Picture 3 circles. The inner circle contains everything you fully control: your thoughts, your effort, your reactions. The middle circle includes what you can influence but not control: other people's responses, project outcomes, relationship dynamics. The outer circle holds everything else: the market crashes, global events, other people's decisions beyond your reach. Successful people master this map. They dominate their inner circle, strategically invest in their influence circle, and completely ignore the outer circle. Why waste mental energy on what you can't change? Here's a strategy you can use today. Whenever life throws a punch, immediately ask yourself, which circle does this problem belong to? Once you place it, refocus your attention and feel the power shift. This simple mental exercise is how you become unstoppable, by refusing to be derailed by things outside your control. Use it to stay sharp, calm, and powerful no matter what comes your way. Building on the spheres of control technique, let's move to the third crucial method that will help you develop breakthrough thinking: first principles analysis. This technique asks you to reject prepackaged thinking because it's killing your true potential. Today's world is incredibly complex, and when overwhelmed by complexity, most people cling to conventional wisdom like a life raft. But the unstoppable mind does the opposite. It strips everything down to fundamental truths, those things that cannot be broken down any further. Did you know Socrates, the great philosopher, refused to accept inherited assumptions? You should do the same. When facing a problem, ruthlessly ask yourself, what do I know for certain is true? Then build everything up from there, discarding the mental baggage everyone else carries. This approach lets you move faster, though it can feel uncomfortable at first because you're temporarily removing all mental shortcuts. But it's precisely in this space of first principles that breakthrough solutions emerge. Solutions others can't see. Don't waste time wandering through someone else's labyrinth of thought. Break down the walls. Start with what is undeniably true, then build your own path. The fourth technique is called the fate clause. This helps you avoid rigid expectations that cause unnecessary suffering. Imagine you say, I will finish this project by Friday. It sounds like determination, but that very statement creates a mental trap. Because life always throws curveballs, and when it does, you'll feel like a failure, even when it's beyond your control. The Stoics had a better way. They added fate permitting to every intention. They weren't hedging or doubting themselves. They were practicing strategic realism to stay committed yet sane. For example, I will give my all in this presentation tomorrow, fate permitting. This mental shift lets you maintain absolute commitment to your actions while releasing attachment to specific outcomes. You acknowledge the complexity of reality without using it as an excuse. The most resilient minds in history acted this way. They worked relentlessly toward their goals while maintaining inner peace about what they couldn't control. Now you can start doing the same. The fifth technique is called premeditation of adversity. Most people avoid imagining failure, and that's exactly why they crumble when it happens. But the unstoppable mind does the opposite. Before any important event, deliberately imagine what could go wrong. Your presentation slides failing, your flight getting canceled, a key team member quitting mid-project. As Seneca said, the person who anticipates troubles steals their power when they arrive. When disaster strikes, everyone else stands frozen in shock and emotion. But you've already walked through that scenario mentally, and while others are still processing, you're already executing your contingency plan. The weak hope nothing will go wrong. The strong know that something will, and prepare accordingly. That is the power of readiness. Building on the premeditation of adversity, let's explore the sixth technique called the ideal sage. Most people pick flawed role models who eventually disappoint them, but the unstoppable mind creates something that won't disappoint. The Stoics envision the sage, not a real person, but the ideal embodiment of wisdom and virtue. This becomes your personal North Star, guiding your potential. Try to imagine an ideal advisor, your personal sage, deliberately. What decisions would they make in your situation? How would they respond to your challenges? What virtues would they embody? The wisdom of this approach is that it propels you beyond existing examples. You're no longer constrained by what others have achieved. Instead, you're guided by what is theoretically possible for a human being at their best. In fact, you are already on your way to becoming that person, and this mental construct can help get you there. Next is the seventh technique called the alternative narrative. If you're like most people, Your brain loves to jump to the worst possible interpretation of events. For example, if you didn't get a promotion, your mind might immediately scream that you're doomed at the company. But narratives like that can crush your potential. Here's how you can redirect it. When something painful happens, force yourself to write down 3 completely different interpretations. Maybe you didn't get promoted because the company is grooming you for something better. Or perhaps they know you'd hate the administrative burden of the position. Or maybe the decision maker just needs more time to get to know you. This practice shatters the illusion that your knee-jerk reaction is objective reality. It's just one possibility among many, and just because it's harsh doesn't mean it's right. The unstoppable mind maintains cognitive flexibility in every situation. They don't get trapped in singular narratives that paralyze them. They see the full spectrum of possible realities and choose the one that serves their growth. The 8th technique is called using your character. Most people get stuck in endless pros and cons lists. They weigh outcomes, analyze options, and still end up paralyzed by indecision. Why? Because they're asking the wrong question. The unstoppable mind asks a more powerful question. What kind of person do I want to become through the choices I make? Marcus Aurelius constantly used this mental model when facing complex decisions. He didn't get lost in potential outcomes. He focused on what he was manifesting through his actions. Next time you're stuck on a difficult decision, put down that pros and cons list and ask yourself this question. Picking up where we left off with the power of aligning your decisions with the person you want to become, let's explore how this mindset cuts through the noise of everyday chaos. This works because identity-based decisions are simpler and far more powerful than outcome-based ones. When your choices align with the character you're building, life becomes clearer. What you do today shapes who you become tomorrow, and who you become then determines everything else in your life. Our 9th technique is called the fruit of good choices. Many people find themselves stuck in the daily grind, seeing their efforts as isolated struggles disconnected from their future. They might work out every morning but fail to visualize the strong, healthy body they're creating. They study hard but don't imagine the expertise they are slowly building. The unstoppable mind does something different. It regularly pauses to consciously connect present actions with future rewards. Here's what you can do. Take 3 minutes right now to vividly imagine how your current efforts, the challenging project, those early workouts, the tough conversations you're initiating, are all creating the exact future you desire. When motivation dips or distractions creep in, this mental technique reignites your commitment. It transforms discipline from a daily burden into a strategic investment that pays compound interest over time. As Epictetus said, the path to greatness requires momentary sacrifices for lasting rewards. When you trade temporary discomfort for long-term transformation, you're already walking the path of wisdom. Our 10th technique is called cosmic insignificance therapy. Most people get consumed by daily struggles, a critical email, a tense meeting, a social media slight, and let these moments define their entire emotional landscape. But the unstoppable mind zooms out to gain perspective. One way to do this is by contemplating the vastness of time and space. Billions of years, trillions of stars. When you see human troubles against that backdrop, they instantly shrink in proportion. If you love science, try this mental exercise. Imagine viewing Earth from orbit, then from the Moon, then from Mars, and finally from outside our galaxy. Watch your problems grow smaller with each step back. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, How small a part of the boundless and unfathomable time is assigned to every man. Some problems truly matter in our lives, but many don't. When you grasp just how insignificant most problems are, you gain tremendous power, the freedom to choose your response with clarity and purpose. Use this cosmic view to focus your energy on what truly matters. Our 11th technique is called daily voluntary hardship. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort, but what they don't realize is that this avoidance actually makes them incredibly fragile. The unstoppable mind does something counterintuitive. It deliberately seeks out controlled hardship. Seneca practiced this by periodically living with minimal possessions, eating simple meals, and sleeping on the floor. Why? Because when you voluntarily experience what you fear, those fears lose their power. You can follow his example like this. Once a week, choose a specific hardship. Skip breakfast, sleep without a pillow, wear your least comfortable clothes. Each time, observe how quickly your initial resistance fades. What you're doing is training your nervous system to stay calm during adversity. When others panic at the first sign of hardship, you'll remain clear-headed and focused. Our 12th technique is called tranquility rehearsal. Most people wait until they're in the middle of a crisis to try managing their emotions. That's like waiting until you're drowning to learn how to swim. The unstoppable mind practices emotional steadiness before it's needed. This technique is simple yet profound. During calm moments, select a specific upcoming challenge, a difficult conversation, a high-pressure presentation, or a complex decision, and deliberately rehearse maintaining your inner tranquility during that exact scenario. The key is that you're not visualizing success or failure. Instead, you focus singularly on preserving your emotional equilibrium, no matter what happens outside. When emotions hijack everyone else's thinking, your clarity becomes your superpower. True strength isn't about never feeling disturbed. It's about returning instantly to center. Our 13th technique is called the inverted perspective. When someone frustrates you, most people immediately fortify their position and view the other person as wrong or even malicious. This creates unnecessary conflict that drains your energy and effectiveness. The unstoppable mind does something radical. It deliberately adopts the opposing perspective with maximum charity. As Epictetus taught, our distress comes not from others' actions, but from our judgments about them. So next time you feel friction with someone, pause and ask yourself, if I assume this person was reasonable, intelligent, and well-intentioned, how might they see this situation? Force yourself to construct a generous interpretation of their position. Sometimes Stoic wisdom means doing the uncomfortable thing, choosing empathy over judgment, understanding over defensiveness. Continuing from the power of adopting an inverted perspective, let's move on to the next technique that sharpens your mental clarity and resilience. Our 14th technique is called practicing the death of reputation. Most people live trapped in what Seneca called the prison of other people's opinions. They make decisions based on approval, recognition, and social status rather than on their true principles. This leaves them vulnerable to manipulation and prevents authentic action. The unstoppable mind deliberately practices imagining a complete collapse of reputation. Ask yourself, what would you do if everyone misunderstood you? If your social standing vanished overnight? If your name became synonymous with failure? Spend 5 minutes vividly visualizing yourself continuing to live virtuously despite total reputation destruction. Notice which actions remain unchanged, those rooted in your true values, and which were merely performed for approval. This practice reveals how much of your life is authentically yours versus how much is controlled by others' perceptions. When you realize you could continue living with virtue and purpose even without external validation, you gain true inner freedom. Our 15th technique is called the concentric circles of concern. Most people either focus exclusively on themselves or scatter their energy trying to solve every global problem. Both approaches lead to ineffectiveness. The unstoppable mind uses a more strategic framework for relationships. Imagine concentric circles, self at the center, then family, community, country, and humanity. Each circle requires different types of attention and responsibility. Think about how you're doing in each category. How are you nurturing your health and wisdom, supporting your family, contributing to your community, fulfilling your responsibilities, even advancing humankind? This technique provides structure to your moral responsibilities. As Marcus Aurelius observed, we are social beings with duties to the whole. The person who excels understands their precise role in each circle and balances their attention accordingly. By mapping your responsibilities, you create focused impact where others create either selfishness or chaos. Our 16th technique is called the fading pleasure inventory. Most people are trapped in an endless cycle, desperately wanting something, obtaining it, feeling satisfied momentarily, then returning to baseline happiness as they fixate on the next desire. This hedonic treadmill exhausts them with diminishing returns. The unstoppable mind breaks this pattern by studying it directly. Take 5 minutes now to list material pleasures you once intensely craved, but now barely notice. The smartphone you excitedly unboxed, the car you proudly drove, the clothes you couldn't wait to wear. Be ruthlessly honest about how quickly these objects faded from thrilling to ordinary to invisible. If you're honest, it probably won't be a short list. When you clearly see this pattern, you make wiser choices about where to invest your energy and expectations. As Epictetus noted, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This technique helps you do that while appreciating what you already have. Our 17th technique is called the virtuous interpretation. When someone wrongs you, most people immediately assume malice or incompetence. Their mind constructs a narrative where they are the innocent victim and the other person is the villain. This reactive thinking creates unnecessary suffering. The unstoppable mind practices finding the most generous possible interpretation of others' actions. As Epictetus taught, people act as seems right to them based on their understanding, no matter how flawed. Try this next time someone disappoints or frustrates you. Pause and ask, what virtuous reason might explain this behavior? Perhaps they're protecting something valuable, acting from incomplete information, or responding to pressures you can't see. This isn't naive optimism, it's strategic empathy that prevents compromising your values through reactive behavior. When you respond to others' poor choices with virtue rather than vengeance, you maintain your power and clarity. The strongest minds hold steady when others spiral into reactive patterns. Our 18th technique is called morning self-command. Most people start their day reactively, checking notifications, responding to others' priorities, and immediately surrendering their mental sovereignty. By midday, they're completely adrift. The unstoppable mind starts differently. Before anything else, It issues a specific rule targeting its biggest psychological vulnerability. Think of a command addressing your particular weakness. For example, today I will not seek validation through social media. Today I will speak my truth without apology. Today I will not procrastinate. To make it stick, write it down, speak it aloud, make it non-negotiable. What makes this powerful is its specificity. You're not trying to improve everything at once. You're targeting the exact pattern that undermines your potential the most. Try it. When you commit each morning, you set the tone for everything that follows. Our 19th technique is called the evening review. Most people end their day either cataloging failures or vaguely acknowledging successes. Both approaches miss a critical opportunity for psychological reinforcement. Let's pick up where we left off, diving into the final powerful strategies that complete the unstoppable mindset. Before sleep, the unstoppable mind uses a smarter approach. Instead of ruminating on the day's events aimlessly, it identifies one challenging moment and carefully imagines how much worse things could have been without wisdom or virtuous action. This simple practice deepens genuine appreciation for the choices you made, the virtuous decisions that truly improved your life. As a Stoic, this reflection is exactly what you want to nurture and strengthen every day. Our 20th and final technique is called the virtuous circle. Most people try to change too many habits at once, spreading their willpower thin and ending up changing nothing. Others focus on small habits that create minimal ripple effects, working hard for isolated improvements that barely add up. The unstoppable mind takes a different path. It identifies one small, sustainable action that, when performed consistently, triggers cascading positive effects throughout your character development. This creates compound growth, each keystone habit making the next one easier to implement, building unstoppable momentum. As Aristotle wisely observed, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Through this technique, you create virtuous circles where each positive action reinforces and amplifies every other. This is how you become truly unstoppable, one strategically smart action at a time. Remember, the journey to becoming unstoppable isn't about grand, dramatic transformations overnight. It's about precise mental techniques practiced consistently until they become your default operating system. We've just explored 20 powerful strategies drawn from ancient wisdom and modern psychology. Each technique addresses a specific aspect of mental sovereignty, from breaking free of reputation seeking to commanding your attention, from embracing strategic discomfort to cultivating emotional resilience. The most important thing to understand is that these techniques compound over time. You have to keep practicing them to see real, lasting results. Many believe success depends on external factors, luck, connections, or natural talent. But history shows us something different. The most accomplished people in every field share one thing in common: an unstoppable mindset that refuses to yield. Your potential has always been there, waiting. These techniques are the keys to unlocking it. Start with just one practice. Repeat it until it becomes second nature. Then add another. Within months, you'll barely recognize the person you used to be. This is the essence of the unstoppable mindset. Not that nothing ever knocks you down, but that nothing keeps you down. In upcoming videos, we'll explore how additional ancient Stoic wisdom complements the lessons you've just learned. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications to join our community of Stoic believers. Your engagement helps others discover these tools when they need them most. Each comment sharing your experiences helps us improve and better understand what truly works. Until next time, remember the powerful words of Marcus Aurelius. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will simply look. The unstoppable mind is built one technique at a time. It's up to you to use these tools to become the person you were meant to be. The only question is, will you begin today?